Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Now today, a little life advice about two things that I invested in this year. And so far it's been so well, and I'm sure you can guess what the second one is, but let's start off with the very first one. The first one was, or is, therapy and mental health. I've always been interested in seeing a therapist. I just didn't commit or take action to do so. And I took the courage to do that last December, and eventually I found the therapist on sometime in late January. So I've been seeing that person on a weekly basis. And I wanted to see a therapist to help me understand myself, learn more about myself, and help me just kind of understand my patterns, my belief system, because we all have been conditioned by society, by social media, and especially through our family and friends, mainly family, as a child in our teenage years, and all these like crucial, important years. And if we've been influenced a certain way, we've been conditioned a certain way, it affects us when we're by ourselves, it affects us in our relationships. And I knew I need to improve in some ways because I want to improve my relationships as well as just like my own intrapersonal communication, which is just how I talk to myself and how I believe in myself. So this all ties into like self-esteem, self-worth, and confidence. And it's up and down sometimes for me, but I don't want to feel like too much more than, and sometimes I don't want to just feel less than. And um, it's been 8 months since I've been seeing this therapist, and I would say it's been helpful for the most part. Seeing them once a week online, very convenient, very easy, and I trust that this is their expertise, and essentially you can do this with someone else also, a friend, someone you're close with, to have talk therapy. But the downside of that is just they may have biases, and they are your friend or they have some type of relationship with you, so they may not like fully understand what you're going through in some manner, some way. Whereas a therapist or a stranger, for example, doesn't really know you in that way, right? And they don't have an attachment or emotional relationship with you. So since I've been seeing this therapist, I would say, yeah, the year has been going well and great. This person has also seen me when I was off and depressed, as well as when I was just myself and feeling very grateful and connected and aligned. And this was all before this financial journey, right? This the second best thing that actually happened to me was investing in this finance journey. So they do tie in together. I would say finances, investing is all part of just personal growth because we want to see more out of us, especially financially, right? And in this case, for therapy, there's also growth. We're moving towards building our emotional intelligence and our ways of handling stress, and at the same time, building resilience mentally and just deepening our awareness. I would say the number one thing in my life is just this awareness. And sometimes that awareness is on and sometimes it's not there, right? We kind of default to certain ways of thinking and doing, and we do things and we're like, why did I just do that, right? So this is where mindfulness and awareness kind of comes to play and helps helps us realize the truth or our patterns or our own emotions and the way we talk to ourselves. So all of these things I'm learning and still going through, and I would say yes, it has been beneficial. Let's go with the second best thing, which is just yes, this finance journey, investing. And I would say since I started this in April, it really doesn't matter when. It could be the first of the year, it could be December, but all that matters is just getting started. The power of getting started and then building momentum from the start to month one to month two and so on. That's the best part because you just have all this like room to grow or build from there. Now, depends on the sport. Like if you ever play pickleball, I feel like the learning curve, there's so much for potential, right, to get better. Same for rock climbing. In the beginning, it may be really hard, but once you get it down with technique and fundamentals, the learning curve is just also high. You can get really good at rock climbing and build your strength and build your body awareness with moving and climbing. And eventually you're gonna peak, right? So in the beginning, for whatever journey that might be, we're kind of like here, 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 and then eventually we like skyrocket up, and then we kind of peak out, and that's the harder part, to go upwards. But for those just on any journey, just get started. That's all that matters. Now, for me, with this finance journey, this is the most money I've ever acquired together, and it just feels great to be intentional with my money. Just like how therapy or just mental health in general, I get to be intentional with how I do things, how I act. When I'm off, I'm aware of that. When I'm off, in terms of just feeling fatigued, is it a physical thing? Is it a mental thing? And just taking the right steps from there. Finances, I would say some similar. When I'm trying to stick to a certain budget in terms of food wise, it feels great to say no to, my impulse and say, let's eat out. And when I do eat out, it feels great. I do it, so I am saving money, and also just to enjoy whatever it is I'm eating. But I'm doing my best to like treat myself, not doing it daily, just because I'm on this goal of increasing more for my income, right? Or for my, just to lessen my expenses. So with this investment journey, now I get this like vision, this hope of building more for myself, and similar to therapy too, because I envision myself being more grounded, more aligned to my belief system, to my identity, as well as just handling difficult things or challenges if and when they happen, rather than running away from those problems and those challenges. So everything kind of plays a role together. When we go through challenges financially, how does it affect us emotionally, right? How do we stress? How do we deal with stress in terms of with our finances? And for some of us, like me, I know it's a struggle, or it was a struggle. Now that I'm being more intentional with how I spend my money, I have money that will take care of those bills, and it's just allocated in the right way. Therefore, I don't need to stress like I used to, because before I didn't keep track of anything. Now things are being allocated to where it needs to go, and there's enough money for it. And that's the best part. Whereas before, I'm waiting on a paycheck. How many of us do that? Wait on a paycheck to take care of something. And that's a learning process, right? That's part of the experience, but we can shift that and change that with just uh, budgeting and just looking at our spending habits and keeping track of those things. So those are my two most important things that I invested in, and so far so good. Things just get better. It just takes 1 month at a time, and I know for me in the beginning, I want change right away, but I have to remind myself sometimes it takes like 1% to get towards that goal, and we keep compounding it. Eventually, we're gonna get there, and one day we're just gonna wake up and be like, man, I made it. I've done all that work. And sometimes that's a few months, that's a few years. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's worth it. So just keep remembering to stay on that journey, stay on that path. And thank you so much for watching, everybody. Any comments, any commentary, please put that in. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you in another video. All right, take care.